Tonight, you're going to journey through the jungles of India. Not the India of cities and crowds, but the hidden India. The one where Bengal tigers, the fierce Shere Khan, prowl through dappled shadows. Where sloth bears, the real-life Baloo, vacuum up termites with specialized lips. Where cobras like Nag and Nagina raise their hoods in warning. Where elephants, Colonel Hathi's kind, engineer entire ecosystems with their trunks. For the next hour, we'll explore creatures most people will never see in person. Leopards like Bagheera hauling kills into trees. Wolves like Akela coordinating pack hunts. Pythons like Ka swallowing prey larger than their own heads. Mongooses like Rikki-Tikki-Tavi dancing with cobras. And many more animals from the real jungle that inspired Kipling's tales. But here's what we're not doing: we're not memorizing facts. We're not studying for a test. We're drifting. Letting curiosity become lullaby. Letting wonder carry you away from wakefulness like monsoon rain carrying leaves downstream. You've carried enough today. The weight of decisions. The pull of obligations. The endless negotiations that fill hours between sunrise and now. Let it all go. Breathe in slowly. Hold it. Let it go even slower. Feel your body growing heavy. Shoulders melting into whatever holds you. Jaw unclenching. Face softening like warm wax. This moment is yours. No one needs anything from you. No task awaits. You have permission to simply stop. For the next hour, you're safe. You're held. You're exactly where you need to be. We're building a sanctuary here, a campfire in the digital darkness where sleepy souls gather. Where racing thoughts slow. Where rest becomes not just possible, but inevitable. You found your way here. Others are finding theirs. If this becomes your ritual, your path to peace, consider leaving a small mark. A quiet subscription. Not for me, but for the other wanderers still searching for their campfire. So the algorithm knows to guide them here. To this exact sanctuary you're experiencing right now. But that can wait. Everything can wait. For now, just breathe. And listen. And let the jungle fold around you like warm darkness. Here's something that changes how you see the world. The Bengal tiger, the fearsome predator that inspired Shere Khan, is the most numerous tiger subspecies, mainly living in India, Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh. When you picture a jungle, you probably picture generic greenery, vague tropical density. But these specific jungles, the Sundarbans mangrove forests, the Sal forests of central India, the grasslands of Nepal, they hold something extraordinary. They hold tigers. Male Bengal tigers can exceed 220 kilograms. 220 kilograms. Nearly 500 pounds of muscle and bone and perfect evolutionary engineering, making them among the largest wild cats on Earth. Not just large, among the largest. In the running for the title of biggest cat ever to walk the planet. Picture one now. Not in a zoo. Not behind glass. But free. Moving through dappled forest light with footfalls so quiet you wouldn't hear them until too late. Bengal tigers are apex predators that primarily hunt deer and wild boar. Top of the food chain. Nothing hunts them. They hunt everything else. But here's what's remarkable: tigers are generally solitary. Wait. Really? Yes. Unlike lions with their social prides, tigers walk alone, defending territories that can span dozens of square kilometers. Massive areas. 50, 60, 100 square kilometers sometimes. Territory they patrol. Mark with scent. Defend with violence when necessary. They are not antisocial. They're strategically solitary. In dense jungle, cooperation offers fewer advantages than in open savanna. Better to hunt alone. To claim enough territory to support one tiger rather than compete for limited prey. Tiger stripes work as camouflage in dappled forest light and tall grass. Those dramatic black stripes on orange background? They break up the tiger's outline, make it nearly invisible in the vertical patterns of sunlight through trees. In the horizontal patterns of tall grass, you'd think orange would be visible. But prey animals like deer have different color vision than humans. To them, the tiger appears in shades of green and brown, perfectly camouflaged. And each tiger's stripe pattern is unique, much like a human fingerprint. No two tigers wear the same arrangement. Every individual carries its own signature written in fur. Big cats in Indian forests are often tracked by pug marks, that's the term for their footprints, and camera traps. Researchers identify individual tigers by their stripe patterns. Know which tiger passed which trail on which day. Build databases of tiger movements and territories. But tigers aren't the only big cats haunting these forests. The Indian leopard, the sleek black panther that inspired Bagheera, is highly adaptable, living in forests, grasslands, and near villages. Where tigers require deep jungle, leopards make do with fragments. With edges. With the spaces between human settlement and wilderness. Leopards sometimes coexist with tigers by using different habitats and hunting times to avoid direct conflict. They're smaller, more flexible, more willing to live near humans, more active at different hours. It's niche partitioning. Both species occupying the same general area but dividing resources. Reducing competition. Allowing coexistence. Both tigers and leopards are threatened by habitat loss and poaching for the wildlife trade. Their bones, their skins, their body parts valued in traditional medicine despite no scientific evidence of efficacy. The numbers are dropping. Have been dropping for decades. These apex predators, these ghosts in striped shadows, are vanishing. But tonight, in this space between waking and sleep, they still exist. Still prowl. Still own the jungle in a way only apex predators can. As you drift deeper, picture yourself small. Not human-sized but mouse-sized. Small enough that a tiger passing overhead would never notice you. Small enough to be invisible. Irrelevant. Safe through insignificance. There's relief in that smallness. In not mattering to the great powers that move through the world. In being too small to threaten. Too small to be threatened. You are small. And tonight, in the vastness of the jungle, in the presence of 220-kilogram predators, that smallness is safety. Let it hold you. Let the tigers prowl while you rest. They don't see you. Don't care about you. You're beneath their notice. And in that invisibility, there is profound peace. Rest now in the shadows. Let the striped ghosts pass overhead. Let the jungle fold around you like warm darkness. drift. Just drift. Your breathing is slower now. Deeper. You're settling into that space where thoughts fragment. Perfect. Because we're about to meet a creature of myths. A shadow that walks. A leopard transformed by a single genetic variation into something that seems almost supernatural. A black panther in India is usually a melanistic Indian leopard with excess dark pigment. Not a separate species. Not a different animal. Just a leopard with a genetic variation that produces extra melanin. Even black leopards still have spots, rosettes, they're called, which you can see under strong light. The pattern is there. Written in their skin beneath the black. Visible in certain angles. In direct sunlight. The genetics of camouflage still present even under the genetics of darkness. Leopards are strong climbers and often haul kills into trees to avoid scavengers. Imagine the strength required. A leopard might weigh 60 kilograms. Its kill might weigh 50 kilograms. And it carries that weight straight up a tree trunk. Vertical. Against gravity. Then drapes the carcass over a branch. Secures it. Feeds from it over days. All while keeping it out of reach of hyenas, wild dogs, tigers, anything that might steal the kill. In many Indian reserves, leopards are more often seen near villages than tigers due to their tolerance of human presence. Tigers need wilderness. Leopards can adapt. Can live in the margins. Can hunt village dogs and livestock when wild prey becomes scarce. This adaptability is both strength and vulnerability. It brings them into conflict with humans. Leads to retaliatory killing. To poisoning. To trapping. Now shift your attention from solitary cats to cooperative canines. Indian wolves, the pack hunters that inspired Akela and the Siamese wolf pack, are a smaller subspecies of gray wolf adapted to warmer, drier habitats. Not the massive wolves of Siberia or Alaska. Smaller. Leaner. Built for heat rather than cold. Indian wolves hunt in packs but often rely on stealth and endurance rather than brute size. They're marathon runners. Pursuit predators. Wearing down prey over distance rather than overwhelming it with power. Wolves communicate through howls, scent marking, body posture, and facial expressions. A complex language evolved over millions of years of pack living. Every tail position means something. Every ear angle. Every minute shift in posture. They're having conversations we can barely perceive. Negotiating hierarchy. Coordinating hunts. Maintaining bonds. But there's another pack hunter in these forests. One that seems almost alien in its strangeness. Dholes, or Asiatic wild dogs, are highly social hunters that rely on teamwork to bring down prey. They look like foxes mixed with wolves mixed with something entirely their own. Russet coats. Black-tipped tails. Round ears. Dholes have a whistling call instead of the typical dog-like bark. Wait. Really? Yes. They don't bark. They whistle. A high-pitched sound that carries through dense forest. That coordinates pack movements. That calls members together. It's eerie when you hear it. Doesn't sound like any canine you've ever encountered. Sounds almost bird-like. Almost primate-like. Something other. Dhole packs can tackle prey larger than themselves, including deer and wild pigs. 20 or 30 dholes working together can bring down a somber deer weighing 200 kilograms. They attack from multiple angles. Wear it down. Overwhelm it through numbers and coordination. As you sink deeper into rest, consider these cooperative hunters. Wolves and dholes both relying on family, on communication, on shared effort toward common goals. There's wisdom in that cooperation, in recognizing that some challenges require more than individual effort, that working together multiplies capability beyond simple addition. You don't always have to hunt alone. Sometimes the pack provides strength you can't generate solo. Rest now in thoughts of cooperation, of communication, of the comfort that comes from being part of something larger than yourself. Somewhere in the Indian jungle, a dhole pack whistles to coordinate a hunt. Wolves howl to maintain bonds across distance. Leopards haul kills into trees through solitary strength. All strategies work. All are valid. Solitary and social both have their place. Tonight, you can rest. The hunt is over. The kill is secured. The pack is together. Let the darkness hold you. Let the whistles and howls fade into distance. Drift now with the shadows, with the cooperative and the solitary, with all the ways of surviving in the jungle's embrace. Just drift. You're so deep now. Thoughts dissolving, becoming formless. Perfect. Because we're about to meet one of evolution's strangest creations. A bear that acts like a vacuum cleaner. A creature so specialized that its entire body became a tool for one specific task. The sloth bear, the lovable character that inspired Baloo, is an insect-eating bear native to India, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. Despite being bears, members of a family known for catching salmon and eating berries and occasionally hunting large mammals, sloth bears chose a different path. They have long, shaggy black fur and a pale U-shaped chest patch. The fur protects them from insect bites. The patch is identification. Every sloth bear wears this marking like a uniform. Sloth bears use long claws and mobile lips to suck up termites and ants like a vacuum. The claws rip open termite mounds, tear through wood, expose the insects inside. Then the lips take over. Incredibly mobile lips. Lips that can form a tube, that can purse and seal, that can create suction. The sloth bear sticks its snout into the mound and inhales. Actually inhales. Sucks up termites by the thousands. The sound can be heard from hundreds of meters away. A loud slurping, sucking sound as insects funnel into the bear's mouth. Despite their name, sloth bears are unrelated to true sloths. The name came from early European naturalists who saw their long claws and slow movements and assumed they were related to South American sloths. They're not. The similarity is coincidence. Convergent evolution producing similar features for similar purposes in completely different lineages. Sloth bears can be surprisingly aggressive if surprised or defending cubs. They're not the gentle, bumbling creatures the name suggests. They're powerful animals with long claws and strong jaws, willing to defend themselves with extreme violence when threatened. People have been killed by sloth bears, usually people who stumbled onto them accidentally in dense vegetation. The bear panics, attacks, uses those vacuum lips and those digging claws as weapons. But here's what's remarkable about their diet. Insects like termites and ants form a huge portion of biomass in tropical forests. More biomass than all the large mammals combined. The forest is basically built on insects. These insects feed many animals, including birds, reptiles, and bears. They're the foundation, the energy source. Everything else is just different ways of accessing that insect biomass. Sloth bears often tear open termite mounds while searching for food. In doing so, they reshape the forest, create cavities that other animals use, redistribute nutrients, affect which plants grow where. Similar insect-eating roles are filled by animals like anteaters and aardvarks in other parts of the world. South America has giant anteaters with long sticky tongues. Africa has aardvarks with pig-like snouts and powerful digging claws. This shows how different ecosystems evolve similar survival strategies. Convergent evolution. Different starting points arriving at similar solutions because the problems, how to eat termites efficiently, are the same. As you drift toward deeper sleep, let the image of the vacuum bear fill your mind. This shaggy creature with its mobile lips. This specialized survivor. It found a niche. Committed to it completely. Became so specialized that its entire body transformed to serve one purpose. There's something admirable in that commitment. In finding what you're meant to do and becoming perfectly adapted to it. You don't have to be everything. You can be one thing. One very specific thing. And be excellent at it. Rest now in thoughts of specialization. Of commitment, of becoming so good at one thing that everything else falls away. Somewhere in the Indian jungle, a sloth bear tears open a termite mound. The sucking sound echoes through the forest. Thousands of termites disappear into that mobile-lipped vacuum. It's not elegant, but it works. Has worked for millions of years. And sometimes, working is enough. Drift now with the vacuum bear. Let its specialized wisdom hold you. You don't have to be everything. Just yourself. Perfectly adapted to your specific niche. Rest. Just rest. Almost gone now. Almost dreaming. Almost free. Stay with me. Just a little longer. Because we're about to meet the jungle's architects. The creatures who build ecosystems through simple acts of living. The Asian elephant, the wise giant that inspired Colonel Hathi and the Elephant Patrol, is smaller than African savanna elephants and has smaller rounded ears. Not as massive as their cousins. But still enormous. Still among the largest land animals alive. Only some male Asian elephants grow large tusks, while females usually have very small or no visible tusks. This is different from African elephants where both sexes typically have tusks. The difference is genetic. And it's also the result of poaching pressure. Elephants with large tusks were killed preferentially. Over time, the population shifted towards smaller tusked individuals. Evolution accelerated by human violence. Asian elephant herds are led by an older female called a matriarch. The wisest. The one who remembers. Who knows where water exists during drought? Where the salt licks are? Which routes are safest? Which humans are dangerous? Elephant trunks are a muscular fusion of nose and upper lip used for breathing, smelling, grasping, and trumpeting. Over 40,000 muscles. More muscles than in the entire human body. Capable of lifting 300 kilograms or picking up a single blade of grass. It's one of evolution's most remarkable inventions. A Swiss Army knife made of flesh. A tool so versatile it seems almost impossible. Asian elephants act as ecosystem engineers, knocking down trees and dispersing seeds. When an elephant pushes over a tree, it creates a clearing. Sunlight reaches the forest floor. New plants grow. Different species than the ones that grew in shade. The elephant eats fruit. The seeds pass through its digestive system. Get deposited kilometers away wrapped in fertilizer. Dispersed across the landscape. Creating forest diversity through simple acts of eating and defecating. Elephant footprints can create small pools that serve as microhabitats for insects and amphibians. A foot pressing into soft mud creates a depression. Rain fills it. Suddenly it's a world. A tiny pond where mosquito larvae hatch. Where frogs lay eggs. Where entire life cycles play out in a space smaller than your hand. In many Indian reserves, elephants and deer share waterholes with predators cautiously lurking nearby. Everyone needs water. Even apex predators and prey animals must drink. Sometimes they do it simultaneously. The predator too focused on drinking to hunt. The prey too desperate for water to flee. Tense truces around waterholes. Temporary peace in the endless war. Asian elephant populations are threatened by habitat fragmentation. The jungle is being divided. Cut into pieces by roads, by agriculture, by development. Elephants need huge territories. Connected landscapes. Corridors between forest patches. When those corridors get cut, populations become isolated. Genetic diversity drops. Resources become insufficient. The elephants struggle. Conflicts with humans often occur when elephants wander into crop fields. A farmer's entire livelihood destroyed in a single night by elephants looking for food. The farmer retaliates. Poisons the elephants. Strings electric wire. Digs trenches. Both sides suffer. Both sides lose. Protecting elephant corridors is important for their survival. Maintaining connections. Allowing movement. Giving them space to be elephants. As you drift into deeper sleep, picture yourself as an elephant footprint. A small depression in soft earth. Filled with rain. Becoming a world for creatures too small to imagine your scale. You are both the elephant and the footprint. Both the creator and the creation. Both the force that shapes and the space that's shaped. Rest now in that dual nature. Let it hold you as you fall. Somewhere an elephant walks through the jungle. Each step creating worlds. Each tree knocked down opening space for light. Destruction and creation. Inseparable. Two faces of the same process. The jungle breathes. Grows. Changes. All because elephants exist within it. And you are part of systems larger than yourself. Creating and destroying just by existing. Shaping and being shaped. Rest in that knowledge. Let it carry you deeper. Into the green cathedral. into the space where all things connect. Drift now. Let the elephants guide you into peace, into darkness, into rest. Your body is so heavy now, sinking into whatever holds you like a stone into still water. Perfect. Because we're going to the rivers now, to the edges where jungle meets water, where ancient reptiles wait with patience measured in hours. Water buffalo are large bovids adapted to wetlands and floodplains. Massive animals. Bulls can weigh 1,200 kilograms. Living tanks of muscle and horn perfectly adapted to standing in water for hours. In South Asia, domestic water buffalo are widely used for plowing and milk production. They've been domesticated for thousands of years, working alongside humans in rice paddies, providing milk that's richer and creamier than cow's milk. Wild Asian water buffalo are now rare and restricted to fragmented habitats. The truly wild ones, the ones that never submitted to domestication, their numbers have crashed. Habitat loss, hunting, disease transmission from domestic buffalo. Bovids such as buffalo and cattle have complex four-chambered stomachs for digesting tough plants. Rumen, reticulum, omasum, abomasum. Each chamber serving a specific purpose in breaking down cellulose that most mammals can't digest. They're walking fermentation vats. Bacteria in their stomachs doing the actual work of digestion, converting grass into nutrients the buffalo can absorb. Deer like cheetal and sumber are key prey species for tigers in Indian forests. Without deer, no tigers. Without herbivores, no predators. The chain is that simple. Ungulates in monsoon forests often follow seasonal movements, tracking fresh grass and water. When monsoon rains arrive, grass grows explosively. The herds shift. Follow the green. Predators follow the herds. Large grazing animals shape vegetation through feeding and movement. They're ecosystem engineers in their own right, keeping certain plants cropped short, dispersing seeds, creating trails that channel water, affecting which species thrive and which decline. Predators rely heavily on these herbivores for survival. The entire predator community, tigers, leopards, wild dogs, wolves, all dependent on healthy populations of deer and wild pig and buffalo. Healthy herbivore populations support entire predator communities. It's not just about individual predators catching individual prey. It's about maintaining the whole system. The web of relationships that keeps the jungle functioning. This balance forms the foundation of jungle food webs. Grass feeds herbivores. Herbivores feed predators. Predators keep herbivore populations in check. Death feeds soil. Soil feeds grass. The circle continues. Unbroken. Eternal. Now we come to the water's edge. To the creatures that live between worlds. The Indian rock python, the hypnotic serpent that inspired Ka, is a large non-venomous constrictor that can reach about 6 meters in length. 20 feet. As long as a car. As thick as a human thigh. Indian pythons usually ambush prey near water or animal trails. They're patient. Can wait for days without moving. Perfectly camouflaged among leaf litter. Invisible until they strike. As constrictors, Pythons kill by wrapping around prey and stopping blood flow rather than crushing bones. This is a common misconception. They don't crush. They don't break bones. They just squeeze. Each time the prey exhales, the python tightens. Eventually the prey can't inhale anymore. Can't get blood to its brain. Unconsciousness follows. Then death. Pythons can swallow prey larger than their head thanks to flexible skull bones and ligaments. Their jaws aren't fused at the front. They can separate, expand. A python's mouth can open to a width that seems physically impossible, and they swallow prey whole. A python might spend an hour swallowing a deer, slowly working its jaws forward, drawing the prey deeper into its throat. It's hypnotic to watch, disturbing and fascinating in equal measure. Snakes regularly shed their skin as they grow. The old skin splits at the snout. The snake crawls forward, leaving a perfect inside-out replica of itself behind. Many reptiles in Indian jungles rely heavily on camouflage. Pythons blend almost perfectly with leaf litter on the forest floor. Their patterns match the chaos of decomposing vegetation. Light and dark patches breaking up their outline. Reptiles are ectothermic, relying on external heat sources to become active. They can't generate their own body heat like mammals. Must bask in sun to warm up. Become sluggish when cold. In monsoon climates, reptile activity often peaks during warm, wet seasons. When temperatures are high and humidity is high and prey is abundant. These are the times when pythons hunt most actively. Despite their importance in ecosystems, many large snakes are threatened by habitat loss. They are also killed out of fear, out of superstition, out of the belief that the only good snake is a dead snake. As you drift toward deeper sleep, picture a python coiled near water, waiting, patient, perfectly still for hours or days. No anxiety about the wait. No frustration. Just pure presence. There's wisdom in that patience. In waiting without agitation. In being ready without being tense. Rest now in python patience. Let time become irrelevant. Let urgency dissolve. Somewhere a python waits by water. Minutes or hours or days from now, prey will arrive. Until then, just waiting. Just being. Let that patience fill you. Let it slow your thoughts to nothing. Drift with the python. Into stillness. Into patience. Into the deep rest that comes from having nowhere to go and nothing to do. You're floating now, barely tethered to consciousness. Perfect. Because we're about to meet the creatures that inspire the most fear. The ones with venom, with death in their bite. Cobras, the deadly serpents like Nag and Nagena from the mongoose's tail, are venomous snakes known for their expandable hood. When threatened, muscles and ribs spread to create a dramatic display. A visual warning. Stay back. I am dangerous. The spectacled cobra of India has a distinctive spectacles pattern on the back of its hood. 2 eye-like markings, earning it the name, making it instantly recognizable even to people who know nothing else about snakes. Cobra venom is mainly neurotoxic, affecting the nervous system. It doesn't destroy tissue like viper venom. It shuts down signals. paralyzes muscles, stops breathing, stops the heart. Death comes from suffocation, from the diaphragm no longer working. Cobras usually prefer to avoid humans and warn with hissing and hood displays. They are not aggressive, not looking for fights. They want to be left alone. The hood is a warning. The hissing is a warning. They're giving you chances to back away. Only when cornered. Only when given no escape. Only then do they bite. Krites are highly venomous nocturnal snakes. Smaller than cobras. Less dramatic, but more dangerous in some ways because they're active at night when people can't see them. Wait. Really? Yes. Many krite bites occur indoors at night when they enter houses hunting prey. They're looking for lizards, mice, other snakes. They don't want to encounter humans. But humans sleeping on the floor in rural areas, sometimes they roll onto a krite. Sometimes bare feet step on one in darkness. The bite is often painless. The person doesn't wake up, doesn't realize they've been bitten. By morning, paralysis has set in. By the time they reach a hospital, it might be too late. Snakes help control rodent populations in many ecosystems. Without snakes, rodent populations would explode. Rats and mice breeding unchecked. Destroying crops. Spreading disease. Rodents attract predators like snakes, owls, and small carnivores, which creates a complex chain of predator-prey relationships. Everything connected. Everything dependent on everything else. Respect for venomous snakes is important for coexistence. Not killing them on sight. Not destroying their habitat. Giving them space. Watching where you step. Wearing shoes. Using lights at night. Most snake bites happen because someone tried to kill the snake. Tried to capture it. Tried to be a hero. If you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. Now we come to another river guardian. Another ancient predator perfected over millions of years. Mugger crocodiles are medium-sized crocodilians found in rivers, lakes, and ponds across the Indian subcontinent. Not as massive as saltwater crocodiles, but still formidable. Males can reach 4 to 5 meters, weigh 200 to 300 kilograms. They have broad snouts compared with the long narrow snout of the fish-eating gharial. The snout shape tells you about diet. Broad snouts for varied prey. Narrow snouts for fish. Mugger crocodiles are ambush predators. They wait near the water's edge for fish, birds, or mammals to approach. Perfectly still. Looking like logs. Looking like nothing threatening at all. Then explosion. Water erupting. Jaws closing. The prey dragged under before it can even process what happened. Crocodilians can launch forward quickly using powerful tail strokes. That tail is pure muscle. Pure power. It propels them through water. Launches them onto shore. Slams into prey like a club. Mugger crocodiles often bask on sandbanks to regulate their body temperature. Lying with mouths open. Looking menacing. But really just thermoregulating. Heating up in sun. Cooling down through evaporation from the mouth. Many jungle rivers are home to birds, reptiles, and mammals sharing the same water. Everyone needs to drink. Everyone needs to cross. The river is shared space. Dangerous space. But necessary space. Water sources become critical gathering points during dry seasons. When streams dry up, when ponds evaporate, the remaining water becomes more valuable, more contested, more dangerous. Predators often watch waterholes where animals come to drink. Crocodiles wait in the shallows. Tigers hide in vegetation. Everyone knows that drinking requires vigilance. River ecosystems support huge biodiversity in tropical forests. The rivers are arteries, veins, carrying nutrients, connecting habitats, supporting life in countless forms. As you sink into deeper sleep, picture yourself as water, flowing, moving through the jungle, connecting everything, supporting everything, being essential without trying. You don't have to do anything to be valuable. Water is valuable just by being water. You are valuable just by being you. Rest now in thoughts of flow, of connection, of being essential without effort. Somewhere a river flows through jungle. Crocodiles bask on its banks. Animals come to drink. Snakes hunt its edges. The river supports them all. Not through action, just through being. Be like the river tonight, supporting without trying, flowing without forcing. Drift now with the current. Let it carry you deeper, into rest, into peace, into the flow that requires no effort. Almost gone now, almost dreaming, almost free from thought. But stay, just a moment more, because we're about to witness one of nature's most remarkable matchups. The Indian gray mongoose, the brave hero that inspired Rikki-Tikki-Tavi, is a small carnivorous mammal native to the Indian subcontinent. Sleek, quick, weighing maybe a kilogram, small enough to hold in your hands. Indian gray mongooses have sleek gray-brown fur and long bushy tails. The tail is almost as long as the body, used for balance, for communication, for expression. They are famous for taking on venomous snakes, including cobras. This seems impossible. This seems like it shouldn't work. A 1-kilogram mammal facing a snake that could kill it with a single bite. But mongooses have advantages. Multiple advantages layered into one survival strategy. Mongooses rely on speed, agility, and thick fur rather than true immunity to venom. They're not immune. Not really. They have some resistance. Some ability to tolerate venom better than other mammals. But a solid bite would still kill them. So they don't get bitten. They're too fast, too agile. They dodge, dance, provoke the snake into striking, then jump back, tire the snake out, wait for an opening, then strike. Quick bite to the back of the head, severing the spine. It's over in seconds once the opening comes. They are excellent climbers capable of scaling walls and trees. Mongooses are at home in multiple dimensions: ground, trees, rocks, burrows. They move through the world with confidence born from capability. Mongooses are mostly solitary but sometimes live in small family groups. They're flexible socially, can work alone, can work together, whatever the situation requires. They often live near humans where they help control rodents. This makes them valuable, welcomed, tolerated even when they steal the occasional chicken egg. Their diet includes rodents, birds, reptiles, insects, and eggs. They are omnivores, opportunists, eating whatever's available. This flexibility aids survival. Mongooses usually shelter in burrows, rock crevices, or dense vegetation. They're adaptable in habitat choice too, not requiring specific conditions, making do with what's available. They are mainly active during the daytime. Unlike many predators that hunt at night, mongooses hunt in daylight, using vision more than other senses. As you drift toward the deepest sleep, hold the image of a mongoose facing a cobra. David and Goliath. Small versus large. Quick versus powerful. And the small wins. Not through strength, not through immunity, but through agility, through courage, through refusing to be intimidated by superior size. Sometimes the fight isn't fair. Sometimes you face things larger and more dangerous than yourself. But size isn't everything. Speed matters. Agility matters. Courage matters. Rest now in mongoose wisdom. You don't have to be the biggest. You just have to be quick, brave, willing to dance with danger. Somewhere a mongoose faces a cobra. The hood spreads. The hiss comes. And the mongoose dances. Quick, confident, unafraid. Let that courage fill you as you fall into sleep. Let it remind you that size isn't destiny. Drift now with the mongoose. Small, quick, victorious. Into rest. Into peace. Into dreams where the small overcome the large through agility and courage. You're barely here anymore. Just a whisper of awareness. Perfect. Because we're rising into the canopy now. Into the realm of feathers and flight. Into the territory of India's most spectacular bird. Indian peafowl are native to the Indian subcontinent and are India's national bird. When people think of peacocks, this is the species they picture. The iconic display. The dramatic colors. Male peafowl have long iridescent tail feathers used in courtship displays. Not actually tail feathers technically. They're upper tail coverts. Feathers that grow from the back above the actual tail. But who cares about technical terms when confronted with that display? When a peacock fans its train, it creates a wall of color, of pattern, of impossible iridescence. The eyes on a peacock's tail may help attract mates and confuse predators. Each feather tip has an eye spot. Hundreds of false eyes staring out, creating the impression of a much larger animal watching back. To a predator considering an attack, those eyes might be unsettling, might create hesitation, might buy the peacock seconds to escape. To a peahen choosing a mate, those eyes represent genetic quality, symmetry, health, the ability to grow and maintain such extravagant plumage. Peafowl forage on seeds, insects, small reptiles, and fruit. They're ground feeders primarily, scratching in leaf litter, picking seeds, catching insects. Despite their spectacular appearance, their diet is mundane. Now shift your attention to other aerial residents. Kites are birds of prey often seen soaring above forests and cities. Graceful flyers, using thermals to gain altitude without effort. Scanning the ground with sharp eyes. Black kites in Indian cities can catch thrown food in midair. They've adapted to human presence. Learn to recognize when people throw food. Swoop down in markets and festivals. Snatch pakoras and samosas right out of the air. It's impressive aerial acrobatics. Calculating trajectory. Adjusting flight path in real time. Catching small objects moving through three-dimensional space. Vultures, those scavenger birds featured as a singing quartet in the animated film, are specialist scavengers that clean up carcasses and reduce disease spread. Without vultures, dead animals would rot slowly. Disease would spread. The jungle would become less healthy. But several Indian vulture species declined drastically due to poisoning from livestock drugs. Diclofenac, an anti-inflammatory drug given to cattle. The cattle die. Vultures eat the carcasses. The drug causes kidney failure in vultures. Populations crashed by 99%. Species that numbered in millions reduced to thousands in just a couple decades. Now there are efforts to ban the drug, to establish vulture breeding programs, to save what remains. Tailorbirds sew leaves together to create cradle-like nests, using their beaks as needles. Spiders silk as thread, punching holes in leaf edges, threading the silk through, pulling leaves together to form a cup, then lining it with soft material. It's remarkable engineering. Tool use without hands. Architecture without blueprints. Across India's jungles, birds, mammals, reptiles, and insects all link together in complex food webs. Each species connected to dozens of others. Eating and being eaten. Pollinating. Dispersing seeds. Creating habitat. Destroying habitat. The jungle is not a collection of individual species. It's a web. A network. A system where everything affects everything else. As you drift into final sleep, let the image of a peacock display fill your mind. That explosion of color. That wall of iridescent eyes. Beauty for its own sake. Display without apology. Extravagance as survival strategy. You don't always have to be practical. Sometimes beauty is enough. Sometimes display is purpose. Rest now in thoughts of iridescence, of patterns, of eyes that watch from feathers. Somewhere a peacock displays. The train spreads. The colors shimmer. The eyes stare. And somewhere, beauty still exists in the world. Still matters. Still serves a purpose. Let that beauty carry you into dreams. Let it remind you that not everything needs to be useful. Sometimes things can just be beautiful. Drift now with the jeweled sky, with feathers and flight, with colors that defy explanation. Into rest, into peace, into dreams painted in iridescent hues. Gone now, completely, just the faintest thread connecting you to awareness. But hold that thread just a moment more, because we need to step back to see the whole picture, to understand how all these pieces fit together. Everything we've explored tonight, the tigers and leopards, the wolves and wild dogs, the bears and elephants, the pythons and cobras, the mongooses and peacocks, they're all threads in a web. Remove one thread and the web weakens. Remove enough threads and the web collapses. Tigers hunt deer. Without tigers, deer populations explode. Too many deer eat too many plants. Vegetation changes. Other species that depend on those plants decline. The cascade continues. Leopards exist in the spaces tigers don't use. Hunting at different times. Taking different prey. Filling a slightly different niche. They prevent any single prey species from being overhunted. They add resilience to the system. Wild dogs and wolves hunt in packs, taking prey that solitary cats struggle with. Targeting different age classes, different herd positions, more diversity in predation pressure. Sloth bears tear open termite mounds, creating cavities other animals use, redistributing nutrients, affecting plant growth patterns. Elephants knock down trees, open clearings, disperse seeds, create water holes with their footprints, engineer the very structure of the jungle. Pythons and crocodiles remove sick and weak individuals from prey populations, keep herbivore herds healthy, prevent disease spread. Cobras and kites control rodent populations. Without them, rats would devastate crops, spread disease, consume seeds before they can germinate. Mongooses, they sit at an interesting intersection. Predator and prey, controlling snake and rodent populations while being hunted by larger predators. And the birds. Peacocks as prey for leopards. Kites as scavengers cleaning up scraps. Vultures as crucial decomposers. Tailor birds as insect predators. Everything connected. Everything dependent on everything else. The web holds because of diversity, because of redundancy, because many species do similar things in slightly different ways. If one species declines, others can partially compensate. The web remains functional. Life continues. But there are limits. Remove too much diversity and the web cannot recover. Cross certain thresholds and the whole system shifts to a different state. Usually a poorer state. Less diverse. Less resilient. The Indian jungle is under pressure. Habitat loss. Poaching. Climate change. Human-wildlife conflict. The web is fraying, but it still exists, still functions, still holds more diversity than most places on Earth. And tonight, in this space between waking and sleeping, it's perfect, complete, unbroken. Tigers prowl through dappled shadows. Elephants engineer ecosystems. Pythons wait with infinite patience. Mongooses dance with cobras. Peacocks display impossible colors. The web holds. The jungle breathes. Life continues in all its interconnected complexity. As you surrender completely to sleep, let this vision fill you. Let the web wrap around you. Let the connections extend in all directions. You are part of a web too. Not the jungle's web, but human civilization's web. Connection upon connection. Dependence upon dependence. You affect others. Others affect you. Remove enough threads and the whole thing weakens. But tonight, the web holds. You are held. Supported by connections you can't even see. Rest now in that holding. Let the web carry your weight. Tomorrow brings its own challenges. But tonight, you are suspended in a web of connection. Safe. Supported. Held. The jungle keeps breathing. The web keeps holding. And you are part of it all. Always have been. Always will be. Sleep now in the web's embrace. Let it hold you as you fall. Into darkness. Into rest. Into the deep peace that comes from knowing you belong. You're gone now. Barely anything left. Just the faintest whisper of consciousness. Perfect. Because we've reached the end. The completion of the circle. In Indian jungles, as in all ecosystems, energy flows in one direction. From sun to plants. From plants to herbivores. From herbivores to predators. From all living things to decomposers. From decomposers back to soil. The circle isn't perfect. Energy is lost at each step. Heat. Movement. Life. But the pattern continues. Has continued for billions of years. Will continue long after we're gone. Tigers will die. Leopards will die. Elephants will die. Pythons, cobras, mongooses, peacocks, all will die. This is not tragedy. This is the circle functioning as designed. Death feeds life. Always has. Always will. A tiger kills a deer. Eats most of it. Leaves scraps. Vultures clean the scraps. Insects process the remains. Bacteria break down what's left. Nutrients return to soil. Grass grows. Another deer eats the grass. The atoms that were once the first deer might end up in the second deer. Recycled. Reused. Nothing wasted. Nothing truly lost. You are made of recycled atoms. Stardust arranged temporarily into human form. But ultimately, those atoms will return to the cycle. Will become part of something else. This isn't morbid. This is beautiful. This is continuation. This is the promise that nothing truly ends. It just changes form. Tonight, as you drift into complete sleep, let this truth settle into your bones. You are temporary. But what you're made of is eternal. The jungle continues. The web holds. The circle turns. Tigers hunt in shadows. Elephants engineer ecosystems. Pythons demonstrate patience. Mongooses show courage. Peacocks display beauty. And you rest. You let go. You surrender to the darkness that holds everything. Sleep well, dear friend. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. The jungle will still be there tomorrow. The web will still be holding. The circle will still be turning. And you are part of it all. Part of the great web. Part of the eternal circle. Part of the jungle that breathes and grows and changes while remaining somehow the same. Rest now in that belonging. Let the jungle hold you. Let the circle continue without your awareness. It doesn't need your attention to function. It functions whether you're watching or not. So stop watching. Stop thinking. Stop doing anything at all. Just rest. Just sleep. Just let the darkness take you completely. The Indian jungle keeps its secrets. The tigers keep prowling. The circle keeps turning. And you are held. Always have been. Always will be. Sleep now. Just sleep. You made it through, sleepy soul. Or perhaps you didn't. Perhaps you drifted away chapters ago, which is exactly what should have happened. If these whispered secrets of India's jungles helped you find rest, if this sanctuary gave you peace, consider helping other wanderers find their way here. A quiet subscription. A gentle share. Not for me, but for them. For the other sleepy souls still searching. We'll be here. Whispering wonder about wild places into the darkness. Building this campfire bigger, brighter, warmer. Welcome home. Rest well. Always.